Therevox ET-5, and let's talk about filter, because while the Therevox on its own is a wonderful instrument in regard to this incredible expressive interface, it also has a filter. So let's have a listen. Here, I'm going to do some patching so that we can actually hear the filter. But don't pay any attention to the patching because we haven't really talked about... Let's see if this works. We haven't talked about patching yet, so don't look over here. Don't look at the man behind the curtain. Okay. So I'm just going to make oscillator 1 go so we can hear what the filter sounds like. I don't know much about this filter. I don't know what it is, but I can say, gosh, I really like how creamy it sounds. It sounds like there's still, it depends. It could be a calibration thing, or it could be that this is not a 24 decibel per octave filter because we're all the way to the bottom and we can still hear some sound, which might mean that this is a 12 decibel per octave filter, but I'm not sure, and shame on me for not knowing. But my gosh, that is a very rich sounding filter, a very thick, dare I say, fat filter. All right, well, that is the filter for us. That's what we're talking about. So let us now hear the resonance, which it also has, unlike, say, the on Martineau all those years ago. It didn't have a filter like this. Of course it didn't, but still. Okay, let's have a listen to like 25% resonance. And you might notice right now we're just listening to a sawtooth wave, although theoretically I could make it so we could hear both oscillators at once, but we don't need to, at least right now. We might do that in a bit. Okay, so that is 25% resonance. Let's hear it at 50% resonance. I like a good filter, and I gotta say, I do not say this with every synthesizer that I demonstrate, but this filter sounds so thick and rich to me. This is a great filter. I'm really curious about it because, my gosh, I mean, obviously it's analog, but it also sounds so good. There's this richness and drive to it, and yet it's definitely got that milky quality. Because, when we talk about filters, we have to use adjectives that are like fanciful or something, abstract. Anyway, so let's get this resonance up to just below self-oscillation, if it indeed has self-oscillation. And it doesn't. So let's get to 75, and then we'll hear it at 75. The resonance adds a nice character. Because this resonance doesn't seem to have self-oscillation, I'm going to guess that we're talking about a 12 decibel per octave filter here, which is sometimes they have more fatness due to that weird brash richness that 12 decibel per octave filters have. I don't know. Anyway, let's hear it with the resonance all the way up. Okay, I gotta say, that is exquisite. And I know everyone gets mad when I compliment a synth that I'm demonstrating, but I mean, honestly, that is a great sounding filter. And there are a lot of synths that I wish had that filter. I don't know what's going on with it, but this is a super analog instrument. I don't know if you noticed when we're listening to the oscillators, they have a really natural analog sound to them. And then you put that with a really nice, rich, creamy analog filter like this, and you just get something special, which that's what we're kind of dealing with here. Okay, so one more thing to talk about in regard to the filter. Let's get it going again. Okay. In regard to keyboards, when you have a synthesizer with a keyboard, there's often a keyboard effect associated with the filter that's often like abbreviated to KYBD or something. Anyway, what the keyboard effect does, and I'm sure you know this if you've ever seen any of my videos, the keyboard effect uses the voltages coming off of the keyboard to control the filter cutoff point. And the reason for doing this, and I'm not sure is this still a true thing? Is this a true thing? I remember correctly. Wendy Carlos suggested this to Bob Moog because so many instruments have less high frequency harmonic content on the lower notes. And as you go into the higher notes, the notes become brighter. There's more high frequency content. Which actually makes sense if you know how harmonics work. But anyway, so synthesizers all the way back into the 60s often had the keyboard effect, which would have the keyboard, again, control the filter cutoff point so that when you were in the low frequencies, the sound was darker and had less high frequency content. And then as you moved up, it got brighter and brighter. This instrument also has this functionality, but of course it can't be called the keyboard effect because there's no keyboard. This is called ring tracking. So it has both directions. It's bidirectional. So if you turn to the left, that means the bass content, the bass notes that are played by the ring have more high frequency content, and they get less and less high frequency content as you move up. So basically the higher notes have a darker sound. Here, let's disable our patch here. So you can even hear it get it quieter as we move up because there are less harmonics happening. So if you turn that all the way to the other end, you'll get a darker low end. And then it gets brighter as we move into the higher note values, the higher frequencies. So your ring tracking allows you to have some control over whether or not the high or low has all of the possible frequency content, which can, make a variety of can make for some interesting character. But yes, so we do have ring tracking. So as you're playing, and I used it in a variety of the music that I made for this demonstration series, so you'll be able to hear it kind of in action. And I will undoubtedly also be playing things later on that employ ring tracking. But these are basically the functions associated with the very delicious filter found on the Therevox ET-5.